All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to talk about something pretty rare, a powerful personality trait that honestly separates the truly self-mastered from, well, everyone else.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where everything is just falling apart? Chaos all around you. People are panicking, maybe shouting, and yet you find yourself becoming strangely, intensely calm.
If that sounds familiar, you've probably worried about it, right? Like, am I being cold? Am I detached? But here's the thing. It's not numbness. It's actually the exact opposite. Psychology tells us it's a sign of elite emotional mastery. It's like a superpower in a world that's completely addicted to just reacting.
So, yeah, let's talk about unlocking that inner calm. We're going to break down 6 very specific signs that you might have this kind of elite emotional control. And this isn't just guesswork, it's all backed by the science of how our minds actually work under pressure.
Okay, sign number 1. It's what psychologists call cognitive control under stress. Basically, it means that while everyone else is hitting the panic button, you find yourself just observing. Your brain doesn't shut down. Nope, it switches on, but in a totally different way.
Now, this is super important. This is not about ignoring your emotions. Not at all. It's about refusing to let them hijack the cockpit when things get crazy. You absolutely feel the stress, but you consciously unbuckle it from the driver's seat and say, okay, logic, you're in charge for a minute. And here's where it gets really interesting. That internal state, it doesn't just stay inside you. It actually has this powerful effect on the world and on the people around you. Which brings us to sign number 2. You have what we can call emotional gravity. I know it sounds a little bit like a sci-fi concept, but it's a real biological thing. Your calm energy literally pulls other people in and grounds them.
So how does that work? Well, our brains are full of these things called mirror neurons, and they basically make us subconsciously sync up with the emotions of people around us. So when you're the calmest person in a chaotic room, other people's nervous systems will just naturally start to gravitate toward your stability. It's like they're orbiting you because on a deep level, you make them feel safe.
So think about that. Your calm isn't just a passive thing, it's an active force. Your silence becomes this statement of control that's often way louder and more influential than the loudest person shouting in the room. All right, so let's move on. Let's look at the internal thought processes, the mindset that really drives this whole level of mastery. Because this is where the real work happens, right? Inside your own head. Sign number 3 is a habit called cognitive reflection. Now, most people, they get an impulse and boom, they act on it instantly. But not you. You have this really rare ability to just pause, to question that first instinct, run a lightning fast analysis of the consequences, all in milliseconds, before you even think about saying or doing a thing. And that leads us right into sign number 4. And trust me, this one is huge. You operate from what's called an internal locus of control. What does that mean? It's all about taking radical 100% responsibility for your own reactions. And the difference here is just night and day. See, someone with an external locus of control asks, why is this happening to me? They feel like a victim. But you ask, okay, how am I going to handle this? You get that you can't control the storm, but you are always, always the captain of your own ship. It's a massive shift from blame to real empowerment. Okay, now we're getting into the really advanced skills. These next couple of signs show a level of emotional discipline that is, well, it's exceptionally rare. So, the 5th sign is something called advanced psychological detachment. And again, this isn't about being cold, it's about being wise. It's the ability to just disengage from pointless drama, those online arguments, all that social noise, without feeling an ounce of resentment. And here's the crucial part. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to post about it. You just walk away. And this kind of detachment, it's built on some really powerful core beliefs. You just know the true peace is found in privacy, not in performing for an audience. You get that. In a world of constant oversharing, a little mystery is actually a source of power. And maybe most importantly, your self-worth, it's just not up for debate anymore. Period. And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most powerful sign of all, the shift to automaticity. This is where your most important habits run on a system, not on how you feel in the moment. And the system is actually pretty simple. You don't wait around to feel motivated. Instead, you set a cue, what's called an implementation intention. When that cue happens, you just do the action, period. It completely bypasses the need for that little dopamine hit of motivation, which lets you master delayed gratification, You consistently choose long-term progress over short-term comfort. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's really talk about what this all means, especially if you're seeing yourself in these signs. Okay, first, and this is probably the most important thing I'll say, if you've been nodding along to all this, you are not strange. You are not cold. You're not unfeeling. You've probably just been misunderstood for most of your life. The reality is, you're just wired for more depth, for more awareness, and for a level of clear-eyed truth that frankly makes most people pretty uncomfortable. You're the one who stays focused, while the rest of the world just gets lost in all the noise. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. Your power isn't in what you say, it's in what you do, consistently, quietly, and effectively. Because real discipline, it doesn't need to make a big announcement. It just shows up every single day. Look, this channel isn't here to trap your attention. It's here to help you take it back. So if you're ready to keep decoding the human mind and master your own, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me.